Morning, afternoon, and evening, everybody. Happy New Year, and welcome back to the Coolio Kids podcast. I'm Drew Miguel Lagos.
I'm Orion Michael Galamaga.
And sadly, Kai couldn't join us for this episode, but it'll be fine for what we're talking about. Today we'll be discussing our opinions on a new Apple product and giving a shout out to a company we will have an interview with in the future.
We will also introduce a new segment named Checking on the Coolios. This week, we will tell you guys all about our breaks and what we received for the holidays.
We'd also like to apologize for not posting episodes weekly, as we've been very busy lately due to winter break and the holidays that come with it. We're hoping to get back on track with our posting schedule. Now, with that said, let's get into our first segment. Welcome to our new segment, Check-In on the Coolios.
For today, we'll talk about our winter break and the gifts we received for Christmas. From what I heard, Kaya's winter break was pretty cool, but all I really heard was that she went to Disney.
That sounds fun. My winter break was nice, too. I went to New York to see my cousins and my aunt and uncle. We did a lot of fun things. The most fun thing was able to go ice skating on a mountain known as Bear Mountain.
That seems very nice. Over winter break, I took time to relax and took a break from everything, and I also saw family. I celebrate Christmas, but I'd like to know what the listeners celebrate and what they did over their break. Yeah, it's nice to learn about other religions and holidays.
Speaking of which, for you listeners, if you'd like to let us know what holiday you celebrate, or if you received fun gifts, leave us a comment. Personally, my favorite part about the holiday is seeing family, which is technically what the holiday is about, and I didn't have to go to school. This is so cool.
That's a nice part of Christmas. My favorite part is spending time with family and seeing all the fun decorations.
Okay, I'm so excited for this part of the segment. So for this year, Kai got skincare items! And from me, she got a bracelet and a glass chess set, because I'm awesome. Which to me is pretty cool. But for Christmas this year, I got a bunch of Apple stuff, including an Apple keyboard, mouse, Apple Watch band. Yes, I'm pretty spoiled for some reason. I got an Apple TV, like I said, a lot of Apple stuff. I got a skin for my iPhone and iPad, and I got some stuff for this podcast. And lastly, I got a bunch of new clothes.
Those are really nice things, too. The gifts I received for Christmas are new headphones because I'm doing a podcast, so I thought it was a practical gift. And obviously, for everybody that is over the age of 12, I got clothes.
Well, in all, winter break is quite fun. And it's nice to spend time with friends and family over the holidays.
Now we'll be moving on to our next segment, Apple News from Coolios. Now, time for Apple News from Coolios. For this segment, Apple News from Coolios, we'll be discussing the futuristic Apple product, the Apple Vision Pro.
So this is a pretty crazy product. If you don't know what this device is, it's basically a mixed reality headset. It's quite interesting because unlike VR headsets, specifically Oculus, it combines the real world and augmented reality, or AR.
Though this product is very pricey, starting at $3,500, it seems like the average person couldn't simply pull this money out of nowhere and require a bit of saving up. The question really is, though, is it worth the price?
I wouldn't know unless I watched reviews or tried it for myself, which would probably never happen. Speaking of buying the product, though, pre-order sales open up the 19th. As for the actual release date, it won't fully be released until February 2nd.
Sorry. I think that the Apple Vision Pro is a cool concept, and I don't really know that much about it. I think it is a bit overpriced and that the average person can afford it.
I can definitely see your point. Personally, I think, or I agree, with the fact that it is really overpriced. Plus, you also need an iPhone to work, which by itself like $800 to $1,000, which itself is also kind of overpriced. But it also kind of for a reason. And also, well, if I wasn't the only person that heard like 2 years ago, it kept on malfunctioning and things. So,
Yeah, I totally get your point. The headset truly looks like something that will be made in 2050 with its futuristic design.
yeah, it's definitely eye-catching, and I can't wait to see the business it'll get, if it gets any, because it's very expensive.
Well, that brings us to the end of segment 2. Let's go on to the next segment.
Welcome to another news segment called Shoutout from Coolios. Today we'll be shouting out Kimberly Nardo, founder of the company Learning Wave Prep, which is my aunt, well, the person. Learning Wave Prep provides one-on-one enrichment sessions, learning groups, mentoring in college essays, and supplemental readings, college counseling, help with homework, language AP exam prep, tutoring, and academic workshops.
Learning Wave Prep is great for students who need an extra hand in their studies.
Between its diverse set of services, qualified educators, and convenient tutoring sessions, it will be a great asset for you or someone you know in need, or further guidance in academics.
Today's school really can be stressful, and it only gets worse the older you get. But Learning Wave Prep can take a bit off your plate and help you with school. Overall, Learning Wave Prep is a great asset for students and as much for offer.
If you're interested in services, visit learningwaveprep.com or click the link in the description. Also, we will be interviewing the creator of this company in the future, so stay tuned for that, most likely in February.
That brings us to the end of our shout out segment. In the next, Kyle will be discussing the topic of chess and her career in it.
Well, technically we will, but it doesn't matter anymore. Okay, let's move on. welcome to our very first segment on chess. We are quite excited to share this interest of Kaya's with you guys. So most of this will sound like her, but me and Orion will be saying it, since Kaya couldn't make it.
So I'm sure all of you have at least heard of the game chess before. Chess is a game consisting of 32 pieces on the board, containing 64 alternative black and white squares. Alternating black and white squares. It's a game involving strategy, memorization, and intuition.
I don't know that word either. It may seem quite simple at first, but it's a bit more complex than meets the eye, and can be quite hard to master, and it's pretty obvious because Kaya beat me the first time she ever played.
Kaya's been playing chess for about 3 months now. She's joined her local chess club, and only a few weeks ago she competed in a tournament. To her, chess is fascinating. An entire story takes place in one game, and the possibilities are endless. It is estimated that there are around 10 to 11 power and 10 to the 123rd power
111.
amount of possible chess games, which is incredible. It's nearly guaranteed you'll never play the same game twice. Now, this wouldn't be a notable discussion on chess if we didn't speak about some of the masters. Kaya's personal favorite chess player of all time is Hikaru I do not know how to pronounce his name. Nakamura. He applies some simplistic ways of playing and principled chess quite well, making it seem easy for beginners. The best player of all time is said to be Garry Kasparov, but in the near future, the current world champion, Magnus Carlsen, would win over that title. There are several titles you could receive as a chess player, but the title that requires the most skill is a grandmaster. To be a chess grandmaster, you have to have an elo of 2300
Yellow
2,300 or above.
I don't know. Just go. This brings us to our next part of chess. A rating or an elo. An elo, or chess rating, by definition, is a method for calculating the relative skills levels of players in a zero-sum game such as chess. In other words, it's a representation of your skill level judged by the results of your tournaments. Your ratings will go up the more games you win, and will go down the more games you lose. However, an yellow or an elo, or whatever the way you say it, isn't always an accurate representation of your skill level. For example, if you've only played one tournament,
in all, chess is
your
white
elo
in the
yellow.
It can sharpen your mind, instincts, and even your perception of life. If you're interested in playing chess, you can watch a few tutorials and visit chess.com to play games, whether it be with chess bots or real people.
And with that, we move on to the end of this episode. Maybe I may add something in later. Future Drew with a special part of the episode that neither Orion nor Kaya know about. So before we sign off, let me tell you about our subreddit and Discord. You can find both of those things on our link tree. For those who don't know what a link tree is, it is basically like what the name suggests, a tree of links. It will be linked in the description below. And I hope you join our Discord and subreddit if you can. The Coolio kids can't wait to meet you guys. On our subreddit and Discord, we will probably have a section for topic ideas or segments. Next, adding to the shoutout from the Coolios, for someone at my school. Let me play the audio.
Hi, it's Ari from My Wonderful Wizarding World and Parks Plus. Please subscribe and like to my YouTube channels. Also, please follow the Coolio Kids podcast. Have a magical rest of your day.
You heard him. Follow the Coolio Kids podcast, but also subscribe to his channel. And also, you're welcome. And lastly, we also like to apologize for Orion's audio this episode. Trust me when I say there's a lot more things that go on backstage during the podcast than on stage. What I mean by that is really just technical issues. We will find a solution before the next episode. Speaking of the next episode, about the scheduling per episode. I don't know about Kaya and Orion, but for me, I think there should be an episode every month. For reasons that mostly everybody should know about. I'm pretty sure I don't have to explain it. But I just think we should be trying to put more effort into the podcast than we are doing right now. Now, for real, lastly, let's go over a little recreation me and Orion made. Oh, wait, never mind. You're gonna have to wait until next episode. Sorry. Or you can just go to their Instagram, if you have one. Or YouTube. Well, my YouTube. Anyway, now, actually, before we sign off, I think I speak for everybody when I say I hope all of you guys have an amazing year. Now, let's sign off. Come on, past Drew and Orion. Sign off. You guys are so lucky that you guys did not see what we were doing while the
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode.
Hello, everybody.
Remember to tell us
watching.
all about your winter break and visit learningwaveprep.com if you're interested.
There are
That's
a
all
few
we have
things we'd like to
for you
remind you of
today, folks.
We hope you enjoyed.
Is out. Peace. I don't know.
And until next time, the Coolio Kids podcast is signing off. Oh, okay. So, see you guys next time.